In June of 2024, I witnessed one of the most grueling races in all of ultra-endurance sports. In this race, teams paddled day and night for up to 100 hours, navigating 260 miles of whitewater rapids, portages, and people, all while battling the soul-sapping Texas heat. It's with good reason they call this the world's toughest canoe race. This is the Texas Water Safari. For the duration of this film, I'll be following Jeff and Mirko with Team Blame It on Wild Turkey. I'll also be filming many other boats while trying to capture the spirit of what is the Texas Water Safari. The festivities begin the day before the race with a rigorous boat inspection, where race officials go through each boat, making sure teams have the proper safety equipment and only the items on their inventory list. In between the formalities, this is a day where teams catch up with old race rivals and meet new people. But because it was about 100 degrees in the shade, our team got there early and left shortly after the safety briefing. After, they met up with Team Embrace the Suck over pizza and beer. There, they caught up, talked about old races, discussed strategy before heading back to the hotel for their last good night of sleep for the next several days. The day of the big race was finally here. Today, we'll start in the beautiful and protected San Marcos Springs. San Marcos Springs is usually off limits to paddlers, but today, 152 teams will line up for the horn blast at 9 a.m. sharp. While paddlers battle it out for a good starting position, their team captains head downstream to find a good portage so that they can see how their team is doing. Paddlers eventually make it over a pretty packed portage into the San Marcos River. They will follow this body of water for the next 75 miles before hitting the Guadalupe River. I first got a glimpse of how our team was doing at a very crowded Rio Vista Park. This process of being only able to film and wish them good luck would rinse and repeat over the next several days. The Texas Water Safari consists of teams ranging from 1 to 6 paddlers and everywhere in between. Boat construction ranges from heavier aluminum to lightweight prototype Kevlar. While team size and boat construction may be different, all teams share a competitive spirit, a love for the outdoors, and a desire to push themselves through something truly miserable. Spirits were up and adrenaline was high, but this was very early on into a very long race. Each team has their own strategy as to when they will stop for food and water refills from their team captains. Along the race, there are time checkpoints, and the team captains are responsible for signing the teams through these checkpoints. One of the team captains I'm following is Keith. Keith used to be Jeff's neighbor. He got roped into doing this 4 years ago and hasn't been able to say no since. Their other team captain is Ron. Ron is a veteran of the race, having completed it many times himself. Between Keith and Ron and the support of friends and family, Blame It on Wild Turkey was in good hands. But it would be up to Jeff and Mirko to paddle on and make it happen. With night one approaching, I could only hope that our team was prepared and equipped for what was to come. At our final checkpoint before sunset, I noticed teams strapping a variety of lights to their boats. From the shore, I heard that the dark was a different beast than the daytime. For some, it was seen as a break from the heat. For others, it would be much harder. But for all, it was still a race. Our team seemed to fall in the middle of that spectrum. Not slowing down much on pace, but they were not immune to the hidden sandbars and downed trees. They did savor their ramen a little bit extra, but they paddled straight through night one and all of day two. It wasn't until night two the team captains decided the paddlers should get some sleep. Both paddlers appeared obviously wobbly on their feet, but they had just paddled for the last 40 hours. They could finally get some rest, but they could not get too comfortable. They were only allowed 1 hour of sleep before team captains sent them on their way. They would eventually paddle another full day down the Guadalupe, resting only in their boat. Steep and muddy portages was the theme that plagued every competitor, and with the obvious sleep deprivation, it didn't seem to make it any easier. But for Wild Turkey, this would be their final night. As the sun rose, they were busy paddling, with the goal of finishing today on their mind. On that final day, our team would paddle on, not wasting any time, as they increasingly neared the San Antonio Bay. From shore, I heard many horror stories about the bay, resulting in DNFs from high winds pushing competitors miles off course and tall waves swallowing their boats. But for now, the bay conditions were calm, and the finish was just on the other side. After watching this team be glued to their boat for the last 77 hours, I had to wonder what they were thinking. Because of extreme sleep deprivation, many paddlers experience hallucinations. I could only imagine they were wondering if this could even be real. But as paddlers that have finished and friends and family line up, there was no doubt this was the finish, and they would make it. Jeff and Mirko would cross the finish line, finishing third in their class and 58 overall. This is no small feat, as they had just covered 260 miles in 77 hours and 42 minutes. While trying to capture the spirit of the Texas water safari, I've learned that there's no way to accurately represent what these paddlers have pushed themselves through. Finishers push themselves over 260 miles with their friends and family supporting them. Paddlers push themselves through a lot of pain because finishing was nowhere near a guarantee. Most maintain good spirits, and this year, 106 teams would finish. I feel like I'm underselling it when I say that I was proud to watch Blame It on Wild Turkey with Mirko Proofer and my dad, Jeff Larson, cross that finish line.